You're putting in the daily grind, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. If you are one of the fortunate ones, you get a couple of weeks vacation, staring at the same 4 walls, or even worse, being trapped in a cubicle, sometimes performing mind-numbing work that literally sucks the life from you. You think back to the days when you dreamt of getting to where you are now. The thought seemed so glorious, and then you made it. You finally reached your goal. But why do you not feel fulfilled? Why do you feel like you have become a slave to your work? Why does your office feel like a prison cell? This is not how it was supposed to be. Does this sound familiar? Many of us have gone through very similar situations and felt the same emotions. I have. I made a living as a software engineer, and in the early days, I loved it. But as I got closer to achieving my career goals, I started to hate it. I felt trapped. My mind would wander to simpler times. I would fantasize about vacationing, or traveling, or doing something completely different than what I was doing. I have always been creative. I was either making something, writing, or playing an instrument. But as I got more involved with my career, I did less and less of the things that made me happy. It took me a while, but I finally decided to pursue more of the things that brought me joy and made a difference, and less of the things that I knew could bring me the most income. I started to value the journey I was on more than focusing on the destination. The memories I made with loved ones, friends, and even strangers along the way were worth more to me than fine clothes and fancy cars. I guess that's why I was drawn to the van life and truck camping lifestyles. When you are on the road with your van or truck, you have just what you need. There is no room for excess. You are released from the shackles of your stuff, and you can truly feel the weightlessness of freedom. So if you made it this far, the thought of removing the confines of your office and going mobile must be intriguing, or else you love my witty sense of humor. I'm going to assume it's the first. I've compiled a list of things to consider before taking your career on the road. Number 1. Does your vehicle choice have enough space to accommodate what you do? For example, the activities I am able to perform from my truck is limited due to the space. I am able to do freelance programming, photo editing, and video editing. But it would be hard in this space if my craft required more equipment than just a laptop and external hard drive. In all fairness, I do still have a lot of equipment for photography and filmmaking that I must keep elsewhere. I suppose I could haul it in a trailer, but that would limit some of the places I could travel to. Number 2. How can you stay connected while on the road? For me personally, this hasn't been too much of an issue, since I don't travel full-time. I pay for an unlimited cellular plan with hotspot, and have had very few times this wasn't sufficient. Granted, most of my travels are Midwest or East Coast, so cellular coverage is pretty good. If this isn't an option for you, you can always hunt for free Wi-Fi. Many restaurants, coffee shops, and public libraries offer free Wi-Fi. If the signal is strong enough, sometimes you can still work in your vehicle from outside of the establishment. There are other options such as cell boosters and satellite internet providers available if you are spending your time off-grid in remote locations. But some of these can be cost prohibitive. Number 3. How about power requirements? Power requirements can make or break the idea of having a mobile office. If you aren't able to keep the candle burning, you'll be left in the dark. I personally use a Blue Yeti AC200 for my power consumption needs. If I am just writing, I will use my phone or iPad instead of my laptop, which requires more energy. Some other power options include outlets from your vehicle, portable battery banks, and solar panels. Number 4. Does the mobile freedom outweigh the benefits of having a physical office location? This is quite subjective, but I'd have to say yes and no. For instance, if the weather is bad or too cold to be outside of your vehicle, you may quickly start to feel claustrophobic, especially in a build like mine where you can't even stand up. I feel the key to limiting this feeling is to keep the space tidy and well organized. A chaotic space makes for a chaotic mind. Also, take breaks to walk around and stretch your legs. Many times though, if I'm working from home, I'll pack up my gear and head out for a change of scenery. For a creative mind, this can be vital for staying productive. I hope this video has given you some idea of the pros and cons of making the choice to take your career on the road. I find a nice balance between a physical location and my truck works best for me. But there are plenty of others living and working full-time in their van or truck and loving that lifestyle. I feel it's important to point out that if you are looking to make this move to bring you happiness, there are ups and downs no matter what situation we are in. It's easy to show only the positive side of things online to get the most likes or views, but that's not real life. It's most important to take care of your mental health first before making any drastic life changes. I personally have had my share of struggles in the past, and finding a family member, a good friend, or a pastor to talk things through with was just what I needed. Whatever you decide, remember, as long as you are enjoying the journey, it doesn't matter what vehicle you are in. You are already free. Until next time, Godspeed.